So I arrived in Orlando, Florida as a tourist, of course, in the 6th grade. And I'll never forget this. I was sitting outside of a budget motel in December, and it was like 70 degrees outside, and I was from Denver, and I was like, this is magic. It's like so warm and wonderful. And my dad was like, well, you haven't even seen anything yet. Wait till you go to the theme parks. By the time we got back to Denver just a few days later, I remember asking my dad, well, why do we live in Denver when there's places like Orlando? And my dad was trying to pull that like, well, there's attributes about Denver that make it quite nice, and I wasn't buying it at all. And I kept talking about it. I got to go back. The place is so amazing. And he promised me if I could get out of high school that he would bring me back, and he did. And when I graduated, we came out, we watched the opening, or soon after the opening of both Splendid China and Universal Studios. One of those is still here. So, and again, it was one of those things, I was just out of school, and I'm like, trying to figure out what I'm going to do for a living and all that stuff, and I'm so inspired. I'm like, the creativity here is just off the charts. It's amazing. And I decided, even if it was subconsciously, somehow I'm going to find my way back here. And I did about 8 years later. I came and I started with a little video game company out in Maitland called Electronic Arts when we were just a one-story little group. And I remember my first day there, they put me in this little sound booth, and the foam was falling off the ceiling, and there was a little computer and a crazy-looking PS2. And I was like, this is magic. But what was amazing about it was not just the company I worked for, it was the people that I worked with. And a lot of these people were former Disney animators, Hanna-Barbera animators, guys that drew for Magic the Gathering and all kinds of stuff. And just to be mentored by all these different professionals and artists was just one of the most incredible gifts ever. And soon I ventured outside of the walls of our studio and started meeting more artistic types. I have a good friend of mine that was, he would body paint people, and I would take pictures, and I learned most of my photography stuff right over in Lake Eola there with the Orlando Digital Photography Club, which led me to other things like our wonderful Festivals of Speed, which is just this massive car show that comes through every now and then. And as far as other artists, of course, they introduced me to performing artists like from Orlando Belly Dance and Flamenco del Sol, which are just people who are amazing. I mean, they take people of all shapes and sizes, turn them into performers, and spin pure gold. And so my life has kind of come full circle. I currently work as a theme park designer doing media. And, when people talk about Orlando, they call it many different things, including the City Beautiful. I call this the City of Dreams because this is a creative Garden of Eden. It is the most artist-friendly city I have ever been in, and I never want to leave.